Ladies and gentlemen, we will now have our report on the Paris show. And first up, we have, please welcome, I should say, Ellen Lewis of Lingerie Briefs.
So mic's on, right? Okay. So I'm the warm-up act for the other two contributors who are actually going to speak to the trends. I kind of got hoodwinked into this by Roz, and don't say no to Roz. So. My presentation is really very personal. I didn't go to the show with any expectations of coming back here and reporting to any of you or anyone else. I did it for my own needs, and I've been going to the show for many years, and I go as a merchant with a merchant's eye, and it's a very personal journey. I go alone for that purpose, so I'm going to take you through my 5 days in Paris, so you're going to have to bear with my arrival. So this presentation is just how I get ideas and inspirations for the things that we do with Lingerie Briefs during the year, and it's aptly named Paris in the Snow. For those of you who went, you'll know why in a moment, and also the show itself. So we are going to start with my arrival and French-style jet lag, and this is how I contend with jet lag in Paris. You arrive in Paris way too early to check in, and you have to do something with your life, and you're certainly not going to waste any time. So first I went to Montmartre. Sorry about that. Sorry. I'm sorry. Just 1 minute. Now I can't see anything. I know I can't see it.
Fix the light.
See, he's mad at me because I didn't want to put the lights on. Okay. Maybe you should put one light. Okay. Okay, so first I went to Montmartre, and you walk around Paris in the middle of winter, you're going to see this. And you're going to see this. And I stopped. And because you're very hungry when you get to Paris, and you need something to eat, and sugar helps. And there's lots of interesting things inside the musée. Everyone must stop at Angelina's, and I'm not going to tell you that was my dessert, because I'm not going to tell you that. And this is the inside of the shop, and it's just very French, so you see you're starting to get into the mood. And then I have to get down to business and go very tired shopping to see what's going on in the stores. And what's really interesting in Paris in January is everything's on sale. It happens to be a national law. I learned that recently. Everyone has to go on sale at the same time. So much, that's socialism. So we go to the store, and this is Galeries Lafayette. But there's always something you can see that gives you some level of inspiration. And this was very telling. It's a new product from La Perla, because black bouquet was extraordinarily important, and so was this graphic laces, Aubade, and Maison Lingerie. I think these three pieces will speak for themselves shortly in a few minutes. Then on to Le Bon Marché, which is actually my favorite department store in Paris, and a little bit of the flavor of that store, which is just a little bit less in your face and a little bit cleaner. And I just love this shot because it really says something about French style, which I don't think we'd ever see in an American department store. Herrés in the modern, clean bodysuit, graphic laces, and a new vendor for me. I had never seen Elise Couturier, but you're going to see it a lot in the next few minutes, and I noticed that Lindsay will also highlight her. Beautiful lace lingerie. And then I take a walk around the left bank, which is where I tend to shop. I love Sabia Rose. I know it's very old world, but she always has a statement in her window and always has a statement in her silks, and it's very telling because this color is extraordinarily important for 2013. I think I missed one. Fifi Chachnel, Chantal Thomas, and the windows in Saint-Germain. I don't know who this is. I never knew who it was, but this is something you would only see in Paris. And you have to go to Colette. I don't even particularly like Colette, but I go every single time because it's just so full of style and inspiration. Even though it's, did I do it again? All right, I'm just going to go on. Well, maybe I'm not. How do I get out of there? Okay, thank you. Okay, so see, it's amazing that I have a lingerie platform on the internet because I can't even work a computer. And that it works. Okay, so anyway, one of the things I did, reason I went to Paris early is I was invited by the Empreinte lingerie company to their L'Atelier in Paris for a private fitting, and it was really quite an experience.
What size are you?
Huh?
What size are you?
You can read it on my blog, because I did mention it. Okay. Anyway, because you're looking at these. I just took a shot of this. This is really good. But anyway, I love how they do that. I love how they do their private fittings because when you walk into the room, every bra they carry in the store in your size is on that rod. So they don't have to run back and forth. They just carry that into the fitting room. What's really interesting is their custom tailoring. After you purchase your bra, you can do whatever you want to it. Add bows, stitching, whatever. I had mine monogrammed, and I happen to be wearing it right now, but I'm not taking off my shirt. Okay. So anyway,
Come on.
okay, I promised that. It's sticking out, and I'm sure my friend Pat doesn't like that.
Get up front.
Now it puts the spotlight on. Okay, so finally we're debriefed Paris style, and you're in that mood, and on to the show. But the night before the show, it snowed, and it snowed, and it continued to snow. And this was really the first big storm in 15 years. And I have to say that I don't think that the Parisians believe in shovels. It's not really aesthetic. All the airports closed with 1 inch of snow. Nobody could get to the show. I took this picture. I know you think I actually took this picture. They don't work on Sundays and Saturdays and Sundays. So we go to the show. Obviously, the show has to go on. But this is what it looked like outside the show. Nobody shoveled anything. But it was actually very serendipitous because guess what? This was the mood of the show, and no one knew this beforehand. It was all about snow and ice and that whole feeling of cocooning. And this was one of the at the door we met the Snow Queen. We were walking around the show, and this was what the hostesses were dressed in. And it really, as you go through the slides, you're going to see very serendipitous to what was going on outside in the storm. A little bit of the feeling on the stands. One thing about Paris that you can't get in New York, as the kinds of little fashion shows they show, this is nothing like looking at. I actually go to some of the bigger bra companies in Paris because it's just nothing like seeing the garments on French models. So I find it just adds some kind of energy to the process. This is Jolidan, and this was the Aubade booth, and of course this is not that different than a lot of the bigger booths. They all have a story to tell, and Aubade stuck with the theme, and it snowed. This was really wonderful, and I tried really hard to give you. I have a video of this, but I just don't know how to do this on the internet. These guys were walking around the snow. Can you tell there's a human being inside on stilts? They were walking around, and there were several of them, and hugging people. It was quite an interesting experience. And then on to the forum. I always go to the forum because you get some feeling of what the show is about. And again, the theme continues. Everything was white, icy, Nordic, light, caramel, icy blues, and of course black. Always black. Oh, here we go again. Enter, right? Okay. And to me, personally, the major color story was blue. There's other color stories at the show. This is what I felt. This is what I saw. This is what I would tell my clients. The importance of blue. With everything else, blue and mineral colors, blue and cosmetic colors, just all these icy, simple pales, and a lot of blue. Next thing that happens at the Paris show that you don't really see a lot of in New York are the runway shows. And I don't have a lot of pictures of them, but there are several, and there are big lines to get in. And it's very, very much fun. I don't know what this is. This is typical of a Paris show. I don't know what it is. But I took a picture. I'm sure it was about legwear, but... Okay, these are the major messages that I got out of the show. This is, again, just my take. Blue and purple, cosmetic neutrals in blue, icy whites in blue, a touch of glass, lots of metallic little icy touches. The graphic laces, airy, light laces and lightweight fabrics and cocooning. And I'm going to take you through a series of photos that I took. This is a Pure by Lee Charmel. This color story is extremely important. Obad. You're looking, remember now, at fall. You're looking at fall 2013. So they're going to go on with the future. Again, beautiful purples and blues, blue and tea stains, blue and caramel, blue and white, Damaris, this light airy blue, blue and white, blue with a little bit of touch of glitter. Lee Charmel, again, blue and metallic. Damaris, I think you're getting the picture, I hope. Obad, this whole light, airy, white feeling. Lee Charmel, white with touches of gold. Shell Bell, I think that is, it looks blue, but I remember it as white. I can't remember the name. I forgot which vendor this was. I really tried hard to keep records, and I did pretty well this time, but I did skip a few. Again, some very light, icy, lightweight chemises. Lala Rose, lightweight. I keep saying light because I really think it's the biggest message I got there. Elise au Couturier, these beautiful light laces. Cocooning. Again, I don't know if you can see very sheer, warm cover-ups. Even the loungewear, just easy going, light loungewear that you just want to cuddle up and stay home in. This garment is, the robe is from Pluto and the bodysuit is from Maison Close. Liska. You're going to see now the intense use of graphic laces from Les Chandelles. I am not 100% sure who this is. I think it might, I'm not sure who this is. Implicité. Simone Perel, and I saw this at their booth on a boat model, and it's just extraordinary. Mimi Holiday, who, by the way, is takes these looks way up in cup sizes, which is really great for that customer. Damaris. I don't remember who this is, but the whole use of the graphic laces and color blocking with print. Yes, Master. The whole use of the glitter, I was very enthralled with this vendor. I didn't put a lot of his slides up here because I happen to have written an article about it, but one of the most creative forces I saw at the show. Lost in Wonderland. And this is a legwear vendor that's actually based here in Brooklyn, New York, but she was at the show, and I just thought she had extraordinary hosiery. Emilio Cavallini, this was on one of the legwear lines. Cadole. Fabienne, we all know Fabienne. Again, just updating their line constantly with the new direction of black lace. Barbara, Dirty Pretty Things, the mixing of the gold with the laces. I can't remember, I think it might be Lost in Wonderland. But again, take a look at these caramel color laces. Rego, still the best there is in the market at this kind of a shapewear, and updating it with the whole color blocking and lace effect in their product. Again, Elise Couturier. Sariari, this ultra sheer, just beautiful lightweight fabric made by Nikki and Maison Close. Belly Cloud is a German-made body shape company that I happen to like, and again, they are doing the same thing. Graphic legs, taking the look into legwear. And now just a little bit about Spring 13. The reason I'm doing this is because at the show, there's a lot of product that retailers can buy right on the spot. And I thought that some of it was pretty great. So another vendor I think is fabulous at what she does, made by Nikki. She does this bodysuit in the string bodysuit, which has earned her all sorts of accolades all over the world. She does it in every one of those colors. Juju lingerie, but still note the light laces. Fred and Ginger. And a new vendor on the market, Kitten Couture. The designer comes out of Mila, and again, it's just really interesting use of the animal print and color. And this is the end of the presentation, and this is pretty much very French and pretty much how everybody felt by the end of the 3 days. So that's it.
Ellen, that was great. I mean, really great. Thank you very much. Don't worry about it. And if you want to see Ellen's brow later, just give her some scotch and you'll be good. Okay. Ellen, really, thank you so much. Okay. Okay, so next we have, courtesy of CURVEexpo, Mademoiselle Lindsay Owen. And she's wearing lace.
Thank you. And thank you for Ellen warming up the crowd. Definitely was a nice journey into Paris. Certainly the snow atmosphere, as you can see, was a common theme that we had no idea would play out in nature as well. So let's get started. There's going to be two parts of this presentation. First, we're going to go through SIL, which focuses mostly on our internal selection of brands that really portrayed the trends for upcoming fall-winter 2013. But we are also going to discuss the interfilié fabrics that we saw for the upcoming season. So first, we're going to look at the lingerie market. And the first common theme that we wanted to highlight was really iconic and timeless lingerie. In the market right now, the consumer can be very discerning in terms of their purchasing because really they want to have things that last longer and that also give them a sense of storytelling and heritage that they're going to represent when they're wearing this product. And we noticed that a lot of the designers were revisiting this original iconic design that they were originally very successful with maybe years back, but are bringing back with a new breath of life. And some examples on the screen here, we have Chantel and also Simon Perel that are recoloring and giving new shapes to some of their heritage collections. We also are noticing some archive designs from brands such as Scandal, which I do not have an image on the screen, but they certainly are taking something that from their shapewear designs from the 50s and bringing it into the new century. We also look at creation of designs that are really timeless, what we call the essentials. And you can see that in Empreint's design on the screen as well. Another big trend we noticed was the ready-to-wear inspired lingerie. The lingerie that you can wear any time of day, whether it be at work. Well, obviously since we work in lingerie, that's a little easier for us. But also when you're going out with friends, out in the evening. Really, it's a statement piece, everything from the top to the bottom. And first of all, we have the lingerie tops and bustiers. So the bustier that can be worn with a blazer, also something that offers utility for the consumer, multifunctional design. One of my favorites up here is really the one from Maison Les Jabis, which obviously is focusing on the multifaceted appeal and also has the shirt top. There's also the half slip, which is making a big comeback for this upcoming season. A beautiful example from Monette up there on the left. And then the real star of the season for the ready-to-wear inspired is the bodysuit. And as you saw in Ellen's presentation, there was a lot of different types of bodysuits represented in Paris. You have the graphic appeal from Andrea Billard, Lingerie focusing on that transparency with different fabrics and shapes. And you also have something from Kukai and Lingerie that are also focusing on the transparency and multifunctional fabric. Some more examples, again, Monette. They are taking on the really perfect blend of the bodysuit as well as the shirt top. It almost looks as if you're wearing a boyfriend's shirt, but it actually is one full bodysuit. Next, which is more focused on the luxury haute couture end of the lingerie market, we're going back into the storytelling. And again, more heritage, antique, civilization, motivation coming behind these collections. And one example that we have on the screen here is Lala Rose. She's taking something from her couture studio and bringing it back into not only her lingerie pieces, but as well her full-bodied loungewear-inspired pieces. We also want to look at the sexy lingerie market because sexy is really bordering the boundary between going a little bit softer, more delicate, having it be a more approachable topic in lingerie. And really the goal is to be playful, but also by not revealing too much because it gives that sense of, it has an aura about it. It wants to learn more. You always leave something to be desired. And a lot of these brands tested those boundaries where else but Paris. And some examples we have on the screen that really test the low-cut attitude, as well as the transparencies, playful layering. I think Les Chandelles was one of the standout exhibitors in Paris that really tested those boundaries of playfulness. Here are some more examples. Again, the Made by Nikki fringe bodysuit that Ellen portrayed as well. And now we're going to move into the loungewear segment. So what I really like about the loungewear is it really was broken down into two parts. You have the luxury loungewear market, and then you also have the more ready-to-wear loungewear that's more casual. You can wear it out as any type of ready-to-wear piece any day. So first, with the luxury sleepwear, you notice a lot of people playing around with the haute couture nightgowns. So you have the Christine Lingerie, Inez de la Frange, which she has her smoking pajamas as she signatured, as well as Lala Rose playing again with her lace and haute couture touches. There's also, like I said, the casual, ready-to-wear inspired pieces. One of my favorites over in the right-hand side is from Welcome Lingerie. You're noticing a comeback of some of those looser shapes, the capes, the caftans, the hoodies, and also some ponchos as well. Okay. And now we're going to move into the fabrics. If you give me 1 second. Thanks. All right, perfect. So obviously, Interfilier, we were focusing on the summer fabrics for the trends of 2014. And just as we have with the brands, we focused on 4 major themes and trends within the fabrics for Interfilier for Spring-Summer 2014, starting off with the flower rush. So obviously flowers are an iconic image for lingerie. They come back each season, but usually with a different twist. And for Spring-Summer 2014, we're looking at a revamped conventional vision of this romantic and traditional style. So we're going to see a continuation of the large-scale motifs, not really going towards the 80s look, but a little bit more sophisticated. You have a lot of strong antique flowers, cross-stitch, and really giving that Art Nouveau attitude within, for example, this bodysuit. Also, roses will continue to dominate from photo printing, different flat laces. They'll still be present, as well as some different photographic motifs of different types of florals. And what I really love for this season as well is the emerald. The emerald's really making a strong comeback. So a lot of emerald tones for the flowers, as well as those raspberry pinks, geranium reds, really traditional, playing off of the a little bit less conventional. We also have Moonstruck, which is really the more fairy tale, soft, poetical element of the fabrics. It's playing a lot on the layering, creating a different classic, and really focusing on those marine shades, mints, sea foams, the gray blue. There's a lot of lurex and metallic effects. You're also looking at those lightweight fabrics, like Ellen was mentioning, and also a lot of pleated embroidery and jeweled effects, so giving it that little bit of luminescent shimmer. Earth Manifest, we're going to a little bit more of a casual theme. So I like to call it rustic yet sophisticated. It is inspired by a lot of the streetwear, so the fabrics are going to focus on that navy that almost looks black, so it's a little bit more versatile. And also rust, iron, earth tones, really getting back to the roots. You have the cotton, yarn combinations, and the stone colors, very sharp motifs and crochet effects again, and even some shimmery tattoo effects. A lot of the fabrics almost look like they were tattooed on your body. And also geometrics, which are going to play out in the next theme I'm going to discuss as well. But again, black layering, prints, lace, embroidery. It's really important to give that casual yet sophisticated outlook. And lastly, for this theme, we have taking part, which I also like to call mix and match, because this is a little bit more of the younger, fun mixture of fabrics. It's combining a lot of high fashion influence, but with geometrical graphics. So it's going to present itself as trendy, but also functional and fashionable. You have the rhythmic patterns, as you can somewhat see on this woman on the screen, that plays with the ultra lightweights and also technical features. We have the zigzags, a lot of beachwear influence that combines with the lingerie influence, and we also see, most importantly, pops of neon. So you're going to see the pops of neon not only in the knits, but also in the accessories, as well as a lot of the trim on the fabrics. Now more on the technical side, we're looking at some of the new fabrics, and obviously this goes into a lot of detail, so I'm just touching on some of these fabrics. We have, first, for the shapewear market, which obviously when we think of technical, that's number one. We have laser cut fabric. First, we have the second generation fabric, which with new sophisticated weaving techniques, it's using the natural body emission of infrared rays to improve blood circulation, sorry about that, reduce cellulitis, and boost skin elasticity. So the most important outcome of this is it keeps the long-lasting effect. A lot of times with our previous fabrics, if you wash them a lot, wear them a lot, they're going to lose that effect. So this is a new generation that's testing that technology and giving you a product that you're going to have for a longer period of time. And one example at the show was Piave Meto with their PM reflecting FIR, which is the low energy infrared rays technique. Then the third generation of shapewear fabric, which uses ceramic yarn, it gathers the body heat, releasing active ingredients that benefit the skin elasticity and blood circulation. So that's taking it even to the next level of long-lasting effects. We also always like to revisit the moisture wicking technology, and one big thing that we noticed was the new natural cotton yarn that's now able to take on this special feature. And it's extremely important for the development of the underwear market. Instead of having the man-made fabrics, we are now able to have cotton fabrics that take on the moisture wicking technology. And one of the most important themes, and also as to why I'm wearing my lace dress, is the exception, tomorrow's lace. There was a special private exhibition at the show site that unveiled the latest lace innovations because, of course, who but the French know everything about lace. There's extreme lightness, using super fine techniques and new yarns, heavy, large pattern and decorative lace, and of course, expertise from all around the world as well. First, we're looking at an image from Encajes, a new lace resembling Lever's lace produced on the latest generation Jacquard machine, creating a new finishing. We have the Dakar, the double-faced lace resulting from a new gluing process of two distinct designs, enabling reversible usage. And again, these are just some examples. The exhibition was beautiful. Codental, which is a new technique making the luminescent lace, which we saw in some of the product earlier. Eluna, which has the lightest lace ever produced, offering designers extreme refinement and new possibilities. Jubilee with the new fringe lace, which obviously can translate into different categories from lingerie to swim and to apparel, using the different widths. Noyon, The lace knitted with microfiber, which makes it extremely soft for loungewear usage. And Solstice, which takes inspiration really from the silicone lace, aimed to trigger things to look beyond the fashion and lingerie world. And last but not least, because of course this is extremely important for our industry, are trimmings. So a new technology of Murmure, for example, of the bra cups, providing an even more natural look. So this new layering technique has not only a better fit and comfort, but it really has an even more realistic imitation of the breast. So you're looking at super light silicone padding with a light, soft outside foam, and it really creates a lifelike look. And for us, this is amazing technology for the future. And that is about it. Thank you.
Lindsay, thank you very much. Very good presentation. Two comments, ceramic yarn, that sounds a little scary. And being from an American-based lace company, you know, the French don't know everything.
I have to say that,
Thank you, Gary. Okay. Believe it or not, Ellen is our computer technician right now.
Oh, hello, Ellen.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next up from CARLIN International, Ms. Marcella Segala. Please welcome her. And this is not Marcella. Oh, that's Ruben, right. Don't forget not to give me my phone back. Okay, thank you. All right, this, ladies and gentlemen, is Marcella.
Welcome, everybody. Well, now that we got you all confused between Fall 13, Spring, Summer 14, I have a question. I prepared two presentations. It's up to you to pick. I have a longer one with few slides that include a confirmation of Fall 13, and that will bring you into Spring 14, 15, or should we just go straight to Spring 15?
Spring.
Spring. All right, thank you. We all want spring. Really? For real. Great. Where's Ruben?
Get up there. There it is.
What did you do to it? That's fine. It's not what I want, but that's okay. Stop saying weird things. I want to know. Big.
I'll just say, Roz wanted to have a run-through of the program before this all happened, so that none of this would happen. But only the chef was here to.
And we didn't eat.
It didn't really happen.
And we didn't eat.
Great idea.
And the food worked out well.
Compliments to the chef, yes.
Without the front one.
That's not what I want. That's fine. Yeah, but that's okay. It's fine. It's fine. There, I don't mind, that's whatever. It always happens. So, all right, so off we go. Sorry for the delay. No, now we switched. That's not what I wanted you to see. Oh, finally worked earlier one day. Fine, let's stick to that. That's okay. Yeah. Thank you. All right, then I'm going to have to look at the presentation over there. So here we go. For Spring Summer 14, we have 5 themes. We normally have 5 or 4. These are very happy themes, thank God. Complicity, panorama, incarnation, exuberance, and confidential. they all have their own uniqueness. We start with Complicité, which is all about sharing. It's about expressing your feelings, and the colors are very solar, very bright. One characteristic that I want to point out about the colors is that they are pastels and they're all bleached out. So the image that you have in your mind that you want to keep in mind is take a picture with an old Polaroid and fade it out. So that you apply it to the solars that you see over there and the little pastels on the bottom, and then you have the color effect for this theme in Spring Summer 13. These are the most important. I swear those two colors, the 10 and the 12, are different on my screen. They don't look that different over there. But again, this is a great recap in terms of that bleached out effect. So it's very bright, it's all about optimism, it's all about yellow. Yellow is really predominant. And with the accent that are poppy, orchid, and that dusty rose over there. Okay, it's always hard for lingerie to talk about key materials, especially when we do trends for lingerie, because we try to convey a mood. We don't really want to give you an inspiration for a specific type of fabric. Lindsay did that. I'm glad she did. So it's about texture, it's about mini prints, it's about micro things. Everything is very intricate, and what is very interesting is that the more intricate you go for the material, the more simple is the construction of your garment. And that was the idea. Our presentation over here, because there are a lot of continuation and overlapping between the two, we have lingerie on the left side of the screen and beachwear on this right side of the screen. I'm not going to point out what belongs to, because we know sometimes it really doesn't belong to one or another, but they actually transition from one word to the other. Few things, of course, that I have to point out is that the uniqueness of the prints, you will see two different types of prints. Micro prints, really detailed, or a print that tells a story throughout the whole garment. So, as you can tell, there are no panels, there are no repetitions. It's just one long story that goes all around, which is very interesting. That's the evolution of our print. Again, beachwear and lingerie on the other side. You don't really see lingerie, but what is coming ahead and is taking predominancy and is taking the stage is what we call spa wear. And it kind of answers the new trend of people that tend to go to spas, or in your own house you have your own treatment and then you kind of dress up for your own treatment. So the lingerie is moving towards two directions, spa wear and something like Lindsay mentioned earlier that you can wear throughout the day and outside. It's not an undergarment anymore, but it's coming out and it's getting more and more visible. One thing about constructions over here, beachwear is a good example, although as usual everything that we show is very extreme. Laces, high cut sides, is like these ribbons that go around and they are flat. And another thing that is very interesting to see, on the left side for lingerie, the little ribbon right underneath the breast, the construction that you see are not blended in, any addition is not blended in, but is stitched on. And this is because everything is becoming more three-dimensional, is getting more and more visible and touchable, if you can say that. So it's a lot of dynamism and it's a lot of everything. So it's these moods, these trends for Spring Summer 14 are all over the top. And this is the mood. Happiness, very natural feelings, bleached out colors, and very natural, and prints that are not made of repetitions, but just one big story that you see on the garment. The next theme is called Panorama. Panorama is possibly the most important, the biggest theme for Spring Summer 14, and us living in New York is probably the one that we see we are the closest to. It answers a specific need. It's a mood that wants to bring in air, freshness, blues, refreshness. You want to refresh basically, and so the basic colors of this mood are the blues from the sky, the blues from the water, from the ocean. And what is very interesting, everything is very tonic, and we bring in a color that normally belongs to the sportswear, which is the orange on the top. It's not a lingerie color, but you will see it. It's coming in, and that's because we need to energize. Man, it's slow. This thing is slow. All right. The colors, the confirmation for the colors, the blues from the sky and from the ocean. And one thing that I want to point out is the white. The white is coming in as an accent in combination with the orange that comes in as another accent. The most important part, one of the most important part, the materials, stripes, a lot of stripes. There are different stripes though, stripes that tell story, although you can't really see from this slide, but you will see more in the next few slides. The color combinations are very bright and optimistic also in this, and the spinnaker is the inspiration behind this thing. Bandeaux sportifs, excuse my French. We have beachwear on this side and lingerie on the other side. Very important, you see a lot of symmetric panels. The constructions are not created, you will not see, at least in this theme, things that have a little bounces or elastics. It's very practical, it's very technique. You will see the orange in the design over there. So even lingerie takes inspiration from the beachwear and with that sporty look that normally doesn't belong to the lingerie world. When it comes to outwear, because in lingerie I told you we're going to work that direction, the garments are very airy, a lot of see-through and a lot of round shapes. Okay, and then our mood again, a lot of cut through. Very important, this thing I want to mention, you will see in the next slides. The neck, whatever comes from the neck down, is really, really taking over. More examples of these. Incarnation, and this is to answer what Ellen said earlier. Very earthy tone color, is very rustic in terms of the mood that we deliver, but the colors per se are very sophisticated. Gold, the doré color, is very important, and the inspiration is tribal. It's native, it's cultural, but something that doesn't belong to us, but something that you can point out. Like you wouldn't know if it's Native American, if it's from Morocco, if it's from Mexico. It's just something that doesn't belong to our daily life, almost with a feeling of talisman. Confirmations of the colors. Materials, a lot of add-on, a lot of feathers, a lot of mother pearls, a lot of embroideries. It's just an over-the-top decoration, and again, to reach that three-dimensionality that I told you about earlier. The breastplate necklace, and that's to stress out what I told earlier, what I said earlier, is that this part is going to be very, very important, especially in beachwear. I know we're doing lingerie, but on the other side, even in the images that you saw from Interfilier and the presentation Nelly did before, it certainly started back then and is going forward into spring-summer 15, 14. One thing that is important is that the tribal bandeau bra, for sure, and then all the little additional charms. It answers also something that you will see going forward being more very interesting and taking predominancy. People would like to personalize their own item. So these little charms and the little chains, you can use them on the side over here, you can attach them to your bra, you can attach them to the straps of your bra. It really is up to you to do it yourself, personalize your own piece of lingerie. This is the extreme, of course, but it's to convey the message that this talisman feeling, this exotic feeling, this native, this tribal mood is going to be dictating one of the themes in Spring-Summer 15. Another mood, exuberance. This is literally the explosion of creativity and colors. A lot of green, emerald green for sure. It started already and is moving forward. The inspiration is from the jungle. The green is the main color, but it's an artificial green. There is nothing natural about it. It's all artificial, it's all created by us. The accent colors are the colors from parrots, from the butterflies, from mango, from really jungle, tropical forest colors. And the materials, of course, that we use to kind of convey this message are very rich, very busy, I would say, overall. Although the patterns of the prints, for instance, of the little embroideries recall leaves and subjects from the jungle. Key shapes. Once again, you see that the band crochet. It really is an overlapping of layers, even in lingerie, and a lot of symmetrical constructions. And when it comes to prints, the kaleidoscopical effect are going to be very important. Shutter stripes, busy underneath, but kind of toned down with that see-through effect, as if we were behind shutters. Continuous under wire, color and print treatments, a lot of symmetrical things. This is a theme where you go crazy with the colors, you go crazy with the prints, but then you keep it easy to the eye to look at in terms of shapes for the garment, the construction of the garment. And this is the mood. Botanical exuberance. The last theme, confidential, is probably the one that it speaks to the most of us in terms of lingerie. It's called confidential. It's very mysterious. It's very related to the night. The colors that gets inspiration from is from the sunset or from the sunrise. So very deep, a lot of blues, a lot of purples. The reds are really red and deep. And a lot of oranges, actually. The mood behind this is kind of going the opposite direction of what we've seen so far, kind of exhibit and show a lot. Now it's like you step back and like, okay, I choose what I want to show you. And that translates in sheer fabrics, in cut-through, in things that are not obvious, but like you pick how much you want to show and how much you want to display and share. And it's very interesting in the materials also, a lot of sheers, again, of course. And one thing that I want to stress out is that you will see a lot of sparkles, but they are not, they're going to be rhinestones, so very sophisticated, not sequins, they're going to be rhinestones. The constructions, once again, you see a lot of layering of fabrics, but see-through, especially on the left side. The underwear, the panties are actually coming higher and higher, and the constructions are very, very complicated. And this is a good example of see-through. This is what we discussed earlier, how lingerie is transitioning from just being something that you wear underneath a jacket or underneath your garments to something that you can carry on and wear after work or under a jacket. It's really taking a step forward. It's really getting to almost a haute couture aspect. Body couturier, of course. And the body couturier is moving from being just extremely practical to be also pleasant to the eye and extremely sexy. This is us, and thanks.